Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to open up and disassemble this Lenovo G470 model name 4328. Alright, so first thing we're going to use is a PH1 or JS1 screwdriver. Alright, let's go ahead and remove the battery first. So to do that, slide these two tabs to the side. This one locks in place. This one is spring loaded, so you have to hold it. Then you just slide this out. Okay, the battery model number, let's see if there's one I can give you. Okay, this thing's kind of dusty. Alright, so here's the model, L09L6Y02. Okay, so that's the battery model number. Or you can just search Lenovo G470 battery and you should be able to find it. Alright, next thing we're going to do is remove all the screws from the bottom. If you're just planning to do the hard drive and stuff like that, let me actually remove this cover first. Okay, so we're going to remove all these screws from this little separate cover here. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths, and if you mix them up, you can cause damage to the computer. Alright, so we're going to remove these screws. Two. This one's a little bit longer. This is a very old computer, so I don't know if it was worked on before or if screws are out of order. This screw seems to stay in place. Alright, so keep that in mind. That screw seems to stay in place as well. I'm guessing in the past all the screws used to hold themselves in place in this cover, but maybe over time they were taking it out and something got lost. But if yours is the same, then feel free to let people in the comments know. But so far it seems these two came out and the rest all stayed in place. Anyways, we're just going underneath. You can use plastic pry tools. I just use my fingernails, and we're just going to pull up the cover here. Okay, it's getting stuck. Alright, it looks like there's bigger feet on that side, so we're going to pull up from this side first. Something is getting caught here. Okay, not sure why it's caught just right there. This screw is completely out. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we pulled that up, and then we're going to slide it out. Here you can see these bigger feet here that stay underneath. We are going to clean this because it is pretty dusty. But yeah. Okay, so let's see. We're going to have to repair the charge port because, as you can see, it got pushed into the computer. So for this, we're going to actually take everything completely out. Okay, it looks like there might be screws holding the keyboard in place underneath the cover. But yeah, let's go ahead and start removing, I guess, everything. Okay, so first thing, if you want, there's the hard drive here, two screws holding that in place. So we're going to take those two screws out. Again, you want to keep all these screws in order because they can be and are different size, shape, and lengths. If you mix them up, you can damage your computer. Alright, so we're going to remove those two screws. Maybe I should zoom in a bit to show this better. Okay, once you remove the two screws down there, there's this raised metal. You can use that to slide that back, and then we can lift this out and set it aside. Okay, so we're going to take that out, set the hard drive aside there. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to align the screws so I don't get them mixed up. There we go. All right, if you want to see the RAM here, you just pull these two tabs to the side, it pops up. Then you can go ahead and pull this out. Does it say here what type of RAM? This is a 2 gig stick. They don't say the speed, but I'm guessing it's PC3 or DDR3 RAM. All right. Yeah, I don't see the model of the RAM. So if you want to find out, you can probably search these model numbers that are on this stick of RAM. And then if you find the model number, actually maybe it's that 1333. I don't know. All right. And there's more stuff here. So if you want, you can try and look up the model number of the RAM. And then maybe using that, you can get replacement. So I think this goes up to 8 gig sticks. So you can get 2 8 gig sticks. All right, we're going to pop that back into place. The processor is replaceable on this. You can only upgrade it so far. It only stays within the same generation. Sometimes the motherboard won't support it. So if you're going to upgrade, keep in mind you're just experimenting. We don't know what processors exactly will work in there. All right, so anyways, let's go ahead now and see if let's remove the fan here. Okay, there's 3 screws holding the fan in place. So we're going to remove those 3 screws. There's one there, one here, and one more here. Okay, so I'll remove those 3. Let's see if we can take the fan out now. Yes, we can. So the fan connector is right there. I use my fingernails. You can use whatever you want, but I just wiggle the connector like this, and it pops out. All right, just like that. We'll set the fan aside. Okay, there's a screw here for the keyboard. One thing to do, since we disconnected everything on this design, it's probably a little bit safer. You might not have to do this, but I'm going to do it just to be safe anyways. So after disconnecting the battery, I'm going to press and hold the power button for about 15 seconds to drain any residual power from the motherboard. This will make it a lot safer to work on, and yep, reduce the risk of damaging your computer as you work on it. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to slowly let it close down. You want to be careful if you remove these screws, the hinge screws here, because if you open and close it with those screws removed, there's a good chance you can actually end up breaking the plastic around it. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove this cable. So this one is a bit more difficult because there's plastic in the way, but same idea. We're going to try and just go left, right. So I'm going from opposite sides here like this, and there we go. Okay, wasn't too bad. We're gonna just move that cable out of the way. Let's go ahead and remove this screw here. That's for the keyboard. There are a lot of screws under here and it's gonna be pretty confusing. So if you are working on this, hopefully you have a good way to memorize or keep track of where all the screws came from. Right, so we got that screw out. There's another screw over here. We're gonna remove that one as well. So these are the keyboard screws, okay? Keep that in mind. Okay, so we got those two screws out. We also have the optical drive or CD drive screw here, so we're going to remove that screw as well. Okay, once you remove that screw, you can actually pull the CD drive out. Let me zoom out here. And then you can, I use my fingernail and just slide it up and down like that. And as you can see, we can slide that out. Underneath the CD drive, there are 2 screws here. Yep. Oh, and one other thing, you can upgrade this to an SSD or hard drive adapter. So they have a optical drive tray that replaces this. As you can see, this is like the SATA type connection, and you can transfer this metal bracket as well as this plastic bezel out. I believe this is a 12.5 millimeter drive because this is one of the thicker types. Okay. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue removing screws from in here. There are quite a few. Let's also remove the wireless card down here. So I'm going to zoom in a bit. Okay, hopefully I muted all the notifications. And we're going to go from the tail here. If you want, because they didn't label it, I'm going to actually put a black mark here so I know this is for the black antenna. Okay. All right, and then the white antenna is right there. Okay, so now to pull this up, go from the tail and then just kind of pull this straight up. Just like this. You might have to wiggle it a little if it gets stuck, but there we go. All right, white antenna, same thing. Get underneath the tail, kind of wiggle and pull it up, and there we go. All right, these cables are somewhat long and going through this area here, but let's go ahead and remove this one screw. As you can see, the wireless card just pops up like that. Then you can go ahead and pull it out. This is very easy to get to, so you don't really need to see the model number, and they put a sticker on top, but here you go. Okay, we're going to set that aside. This laptop also has a switch on the front of it, so if your wireless isn't working, make sure to check that switch first. Okay, so let's see, what else do we got to remove here? So we got all of that. We got the charge port connector here, and then I'm not sure what this tiny cable's for. It says USB on it. This might be for the camera, but anyways, let's go ahead and wiggle that and pull that up. There we go. Then the same thing with the DC jack. We're going to just grab this connector. I know it's hard to see, but we're just going to kind of wiggle this and pull it up. Okay, just like that. There we go. Okay, I don't remember if I had to remove all of these or not, but we're going to do it anyways. Okay, we got 2 screws here, so we're going to remove those 2 screws as well. Sorry, this one and this one. Okay. Again, hopefully you have a way to keep track of all these screws because there are a lot of them, and they are all different size, shape, and lengths. This one's much shorter than that one. Okay, so if you somehow mix them up, hopefully that'll help. Okay, I'm gonna leave these 2 screws here. I think I don't need to remove those. All right, what else? Let's go ahead and start removing all the bottom screws. So I'm gonna zoom out here so you can kind of see the entire computer, or most of it. And let's go ahead and start removing all these screws. All right, so we got 1 screw up here. That's for the hinge. And then we got 4 short, wide screws here. Okay, again, keep track of all of them. There are a lot of screws. Okay, second one, third one, Fourth one. I might actually leave these bigger screws here just so that I can open and close the laptop easier. So actually let me leave these big hinge screws on the side and the corners there. Okay, we got 2 more screws here. We're going to leave this corner screw. Okay. I'll remove those later when we need to, but for now I'm going to leave that in. This is actually also a hinge screw. It actually seems like it might be stuck in there. So this screw doesn't seem like it's going to come out. Let me try with the magnet. Yeah, that's going to be, okay, that's going to be tough to remove. It won't even tighten. It's permanently stuck there. Okay, let's go ahead and remove the 2 screws down here along the underneath the optical drive. Okay. All right, we got 1 screw over here. We'll remove that as well. Okay, what else we got? We got 3 screws in a triangle down here, so we're gonna get those 3 out. Okay. Here we go. What else we got? We got 2 more screws down here, so we're gonna remove those last 2. And then we can go ahead and pop open the computer. We're gonna slowly, carefully open it up. Okay, so let's go ahead and slowly, carefully open this computer up. All right, you want to be careful because the hinge screws are not as many screws are helping hold the computer intact. All right, now we're going to remove the keyboard here. So to do that, I'm going to use a thin metal pry tool. Okay, so let's open this. All right, so I'm going to go from the top here, and I'm going to run the tool along here, and here I can feel a clip, so we're going to go over there. We're going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to try and hold this up. Okay, go along, feel another clip right here, same thing, pry that up, keep going. Seems stuck right here. I don't know what's holding that in place. It's getting stuck. So okay, pop that up. Once we get the keyboard out, I'll be able to show you guys what's holding the whole thing. Is there another screw there that I missed? Oops. Okay, that's why it's not coming out. There is 1 more screw up here. I was looking at that earlier and then I forgot to remove it. All right, so don't forget that 1 silver screw there. Okay. No wonder why it wasn't coming up. All right. There's actually a little label here. You can actually see. It's hard to see, but there you go. In the right lighting, you can see it. Okay, so let's flip this back over. Okay, now the keyboard should come up. Let's go ahead and pry this up. Okay, usually you want to go towards the center and then keep working your way over. All right, and then while you're holding this up, push the 2 sides down, and there you go. You can pull that up. All right, now let's go ahead and disconnect the cable here. So we got the keyboard cable here. Hopefully you can see that. There's a latch. You just flip that latch up, and here you can see it pops out. I don't know if I'll be able to get that in view of the camera when I put it back in, but we'll see. All right, so we got this cable here. This one doesn't have any latches on it, so you just have to kind of like pull it out. And you want to be careful when doing this. So just grab this blue tab here. Sorry, it's shaking. And then pull that out. All right, so this is the trackpad or touchpad cable. Okay, we got some screws under here. You also have the power button cable here. So again, same thing, get under, grab the blue tab and pull that back just like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and remove the remaining screws under here, and then we're gonna have to remove the hinge screws that we left in. So we got 1 screw here. Okay, and I'm not sure if we have to remove this one. There's an arrow pointing to it. And this plastic flap is cut a little bit, so I'm gonna guess that we need to remove it. So I'm gonna get that flap up and let's go ahead and remove it. Most likely we don't, but I'm gonna remove it just because they put an arrow there and the flap seems like it can be opened without taking it out. Okay, we're gonna flip this back over. There's a lot of broken plastic bits in here, so you want to be careful if yours has broken plastic bits inside. So this one, the charge port's all broken, so most likely That's why. This was repaired in the past, so we're gonna see. I don't know, it was a while ago that this was worked on. So we'll see what it looks like. All right, let's go ahead and take this hinge screw back out that we left in. Okay, I have to be careful because I'm holding it like already slightly open now. Okay, again, this one screw's broken, so we're gonna work our way over. And, looks like there's no screw on this. So the one on this corner, there is no screw. So let's see, I don't know how we're gonna take that out. I'm rotating it over this way. Hopefully you guys can see. And yeah, I don't know how we're gonna remove that. That is going into the hinge area. So it's going up here. So I don't know how I'm going to take that out. All right, let's go ahead and try popping open the cover. I have to be careful. There's a lot of screws all over my desk now. Okay, so I'm just gonna, oops, sorry, you can't really see that. Let me zoom out a bit more. Okay, you can see all the screws everywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna just get my fingernail in this gap here, okay, and pop this apart. We'll see if I missed any screws. It looks like there aren't any more, so let's go ahead and pop this out. Okay, you might have to put some pressure to pop the clips out, but there we go. Okay, it looks like it's separating. Let's go ahead and go over to this side. You want to be careful because there are the little gaps with the charge ports and everything. Sorry, I know it's blurry. So you want to just pry between those gaps. You don't want to pry at the ports themselves. You don't want to damage those, of course. Okay, so just getting my fingernail in that gap. You can use plastic pry tools again. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so we got most of it. Again, there's that one screw on that bottom corner that seems to be holding itself in place, so I'm not sure how I'm going to separate that, but let's see here. Oh, it actually is separating already. Okay, so I think it's already, it's not attached. Okay, so the plastic there is actually broken, it seems. So that's just holding the hinge itself. So let's go ahead and see if we can now pop this open. You have to be careful. Okay, let's go ahead and wiggle this and pop that out. And there we go. Okay, there's actually a screw inside holding the hinge down. So that's nice. Okay, and actually I can see the hot glue from last time it was repaired. So we're going to add some more hot glue and fill the entire gap so it can't get pushed in. So that actually was there for over a year before it broke. So, but I'm going to see if I can fill it up to where it can't move around at all. Okay, so this part moved and it fell out. It should be all the way up here. Let's take this out actually. Okay, so this, yeah, the plastic here is broken. So there's supposed to be a raised plastic here that holds this charge port into place, but it's actually broken off. So let's go ahead and see here. I'm going to plug this in without it being plugged into the wall, just so we can get everything lined up properly. All right, so here you go. And I'm pretty sure this charge port doesn't go all the way in because it's impossible to do that. So I'm going to put the charger there to hold that in place. Hopefully all the charger cables are connected back there, because otherwise we'd either have to solder that or get a replacement charge port. So anyways, let's go ahead and double check these hinge screws. Okay, they seem nice and tight. Okay, I don't know where that other screw is going into the back here, because I don't see where it's going. That one is like back here. Yeah, so I don't know where that screw, oh, okay, I see, it's this one back here. So I'm gonna hold that one tight, and then I'm gonna tighten it up some more, just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Okay, so I'm gonna use some pliers like this. It looks like we didn't have to remove this cable, all right, or the charge port cable. So there's a bunch of cables in here that we didn't have to disconnect to get the bottom cover off. Actually, let me open this or flip it over and show you, but I'm gonna fix this first. Okay, so we're gonna flip this that way, and I'm gonna tighten this screw real quick. So I'm gonna hold that with the pliers, and let's go ahead and actually tighten that up. to make sure that hinge holds tight. This design is actually not very good. There's very little plastic here holding the hinge in place. I've seen a lot of these where that plastic actually breaks. But anyways, let's go ahead and reconnect the cable here. Okay, actually, I don't know if I can flip this over. It might drop everything, so I'm gonna be careful. Okay, so this one, it looks like I actually could have left this screw in there. Okay, so we didn't have to remove this screw. I'm gonna put that one back because it's actually holding on underneath. Okay, so let's go ahead and flip this over again and show you what it looks like. Here you have the SD card slot as well as the audio board. It's on a separate connection here. There's a speaker here. Both speakers are connected to the same connector. All right, you can see this one with the blue and this one with the red and black, blue and white. Right, we got this connector here. I'm not sure what this little sensor thing is for. If anybody knows, let me know. JBT1. Is that Bluetooth? I don't know. Maybe that's a Bluetooth adapter. The keyboard trackpad buttons are built into the motherboard, so if they break, you're either going to have to know how to solder new ones in or replace the motherboard. Okay, and I'm going to leave the motherboard in place. So let's go ahead and flip this over and let me show you the bottom here. So we didn't have to remove this little cable or the charge port or the wireless card if you're not taking the motherboard out. If you're taking the motherboard out, then yes, you do want to remove all of that stuff. But if you're not replacing the motherboard, then you don't need to remove any of that. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to leave it as is because there's a lot more stuff we need to work on. So I'm going to leave that, yeah, for now. Okay. So I don't want to flip it over, so that way the hinge will have, so I won't have to worry about opening and closing, moving the hinge around. Okay, let's go ahead now and plug this thing back in. I'm going to hold the charge port in place, plug that in. If you want, you can replace it. You have to just unroute all this cabling here. Let me see if I can zoom in and show this a little bit better. Okay, so if you want, you can basically unroute all of that and pull that cable through. But I'm going to leave that in because I think this charge port should be okay. All right, so hopefully it's heated up enough. We're going to now just fill this area with hot glue so that way it can't move anywhere. Okay, and we plug this in so that way it holds it into the right position and it shouldn't move around. Okay, let's go ahead and fill this up with hot glue. And this will keep the charge port from pushing backwards. Okay. Fill that up, fill that up. Okay, let me see if this goes on top. Does it push anything? Okay, so we got that, goes there. And okay, so yeah, there's a huge empty gap here. So it would be good to put like some hot glue there. I'm gonna see about putting a wooden popsicle stick. I'm gonna try and cut this to fit. We're gonna actually fit it in this gap here, okay? And then, yeah, let me go get a tool to cut this and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So I got these end cutters. I'm just gonna cut this popsicle stick to size. Okay. All right, so we got this. Let's see, how can I cut this to be about the right size? Up to there. Oh, I don't know if I can cut that this way because, yeah, okay, I need a different type of cutter because this can only cut to the edge. Might be okay. We'll do it that way. Let's try it. Okay, so we'll cut this. Oh, that works. I'll just cut both sides. Okay, so now we got this. I'm going to try and melt that into place, and then this should actually keep it from pushing back anymore. Okay, since it keeps having issues, I'm going to try and get that into place, and hopefully that will keep it from ever breaking again. Okay, so we're melting this little gap here. And let's see if we can get that in. Okay, I might have to split that down so it's not so tall. Okay, there we go. So we cut this and we're just gonna fit it into there. Maybe you need to cut it a little more. I'm gonna cut a little piece off so that it can fit over the wires there. Cut a notch in it. Okay, let's see if that will work. Okay, looks like it should fit perfectly. So I'm gonna melt that gap again. And hopefully this will be a more permanent fix. I don't know why when they build it at the factory, they leave so much space here for the charge port to get knocked in. All right, there we go. We'll get that into place. Good fit. We're gonna fill that with the glue so it doesn't move around. Okay, go. And then we can actually glue that a little bit. Okay. And then we'll just hold that there until it completely cools. Make sure there's no glue sticking up there causing problems. Okay. And now let this cool. And now it should be nearly impossible to push that all the way through. But just to be safe, we're going to add some more glue to hold it. Okay, let's add some more glue over here and some more here. Hopefully it will fit okay because there is some plastic that will somewhat go back here. But let's see. Okay. There we go. That should hold really well. If it comes out, I will be surprised. Okay, so I'll leave that there. Let's go ahead and get the palm rest assembly and put this back on top. All right, so we're going to pull that back out. We're going to leave this out for now. Let's go ahead and get this in. Okay, let's zoom out here. Okay, basically just get everything lined up. Make sure that goes into place since we put all that stuff in there. Okay, looks like it fits properly. Good. Let's go ahead and clip everything back down. Okay, here we go. Clip that into place. All right, let's get this one screw back in here. Okay, we got that. All right, so these cables are quite a bit difficult to get back into place, but basically just line it up. Okay, and then once you get it in, we're going to use that tab. Actually, can I zoom in for this? Let's see. This is going to be a little bit difficult, but grab that tab. You can fold it about 90 degrees and then use the bottom of your finger to push that in. Okay, just like that, and hopefully it's in all the way. If you can, lay it completely flat and then go ahead and try and slide the cable in a little more. Right, same thing with this one. Get the cable lined up. Okay, once it's in, about 90 degrees, push that in. There we go. And then you can go ahead and try and push this blue tab out. Push that blue tab in all the way. And there we go, it looks good. Okay, so now that we got that, let's go ahead and get the keyboard back in. So I don't know if I'll be able to show this on camera. I'll try. But so I'm going to hold this out like that. Get this cable in. Normally I wouldn't do it this way, but to try and show it on camera. All right, that's how I got to do it. All right, we'll flip the latch over. There we go. It's good. Let's zoom out, and now let's go ahead and put the keyboard back in. So slide the bottom back in like that. Same thing like before, hold the top up and then push the sides down first, just like this. Okay, then while you're holding the middle up, go and push the other side. There we go, and then work your way over the top. There we go. Okay, so we got all of that into place. Everything's good. All right, now we're gonna flip this. I'm gonna put the hinge screws in first, just to be safe, okay? So I don't wanna open and close the laptop while the hinge screws are out, because sometimes the hinge won't be strong enough and then you can cause damage. So let's go ahead and get this screw in first. Did that one break? I think this hinge mount is actually broken. That's not good. Okay, so I'm gonna try and see. Let's try and hold this a bit more, but looks like this hinge mount screw is actually broken. Yeah, okay, so that hinge mount screw is actually broken. Let's see. I might have to put the hinge mount screw inside so it's not actually using this case. And then it'll be like that other screw where it's broken. So let's go ahead and pull the keyboard back out, okay? All right. Unclip these latches again. Okay, hold that up. All right. Sucks, now we're gonna have to do this twice, okay? Let's get this cable back out. Okay, get this cable back out. All right, let's get this screw back out. All right, let's check underneath again just to make sure. So we're gonna pop this stuff back open. I heard some loose plastic rolling in there, so actually it's good that we're opening this again. We're gonna try and get all that plastic back out. Okay, pop all those latches back off. All right, let's go ahead and wiggle this to get it back off. Go. It's holding somewhat tight there. I didn't put a screw, right? Come on, why is it stuck there? Oh wait, did I put a... No, that one's not holding that. So, what's holding this so tight? Let's go ahead and pop this up. Come on, let go. What are you holding on to? Let go. Huh. I don't know why this one doesn't want to come out now. Okay, let me push from the bottom here. There we go. Is it coming out? There we go. Okay. Okay, so this one, the screw is missing. And then this one also, the screw is missing. Okay, so yeah, these hinge screws mounts are missing. So because of that, I'm gonna get these. Oh, not those. Let me also make sure there's no loose plastic rolling around in here anymore. Okay. So we're gonna get these little brass washer thingies just to hold them in place. Okay, I need to get 2 of those. Okay. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna get the screw through the bottom and we're gonna put those on top. Okay, so just like as you see this one is, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm gonna lift this up, get the screw through. Okay, now that we got that through, gonna get this, put that on top and screw that into place. Okay, I'm gonna hold it in place with the pliers here, the needle nose pliers. And now we're gonna tighten that into place. So now the hinge screws are actually attached directly to the base. Okay, so we got that one. Was there 2 of them? Okay, I need to find another matching screw here now. So let's see if I have another long screw like that. I don't want it to be too long. Okay, I found one. All right, so now we got another screw like this. Gonna do the same thing, put the screw through the bottom. Just like that. Hopefully you can see it. Then we're gonna put this on top. Screw that into place. Okay, and then we're gonna use the needle nose pliers again. Hold that down and tighten that. There we go. Alright, so now we got all the hinge screws holding into the base here. It is going to be a little bit weak, but hopefully it will do. Okay, let's go ahead now and get this back on top. I think I got customers messaging me, so I might have to end this video in a bit to check. But alright, let's go ahead and get that in. Get this screw in. Tighten that all the way down. Good. Alright, let's go ahead and get these cables back in, just like before. Go. Make sure it's in all the way. Okay, there we go. Alright, I'm gonna flip this. I'm gonna make sure all of these are latched in. Okay, make sure those clips are latched in. If you're wondering, I was squeezing the two pieces and clipping that into place. Okay, now that we got that, I'm going to slowly, carefully squeeze both sides to close the hinges, just like this. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and get these flat screws back in. Just like this. Okay. Just like that. Good. All right. One more screw up here. Okay. That one's good. All right. Now we got the two screws down here. Let's go ahead and get those in. All right. This one in. Go ahead and put the CD drive or optical drive in. Let's get these three screws down here in. Uh-oh, I think I have a customer here. Okay, get that in and get this in. Don't forget the silver screw that was holding the keyboard in up here. We might have to hold the keyboard in place by hand. Okay, let's go open it up. Oops, I didn't put the keyboard back. No wonder why. Okay, flip this back over. Open this back up. All right, get that. And get this keyboard cable back in. All right, hold that into place. Flip that latch down. All right. Okay, yeah, I have a customer here, so give me a minute. I'm gonna pause the video and I'll be back. All right, get all of that in. Close this up. Get a few more screws back before I get the door. Okay, get that in. Let's see, am I missing something here? Okay, we got this screw down here. And then we'll get these two over here, okay? And let me go answer the door real quick, and I'll be back. All right, last one up here. All right, I'll be back in a bit. See you guys. All right, I'm back. So let's get all this stuff back into place. Okay, we got the wireless card here now, okay? So we're basically just going to put it back at an angle. Right, then we're going to push it down, get that screw into place. Okay, make sure these cables follow the routes again. All right, let me actually zoom in a bit here. Okay, to get this in, you want to make sure to get them completely lined up. And then you know it's lined up because if you try and move it around, you can see it's staying in place. Then you can go ahead and push it down. Same thing with the black wire. Okay, same thing, try and move it around, make sure it's not going, and then push it down. There we go. All right, then we got these screws here. So we had this longer one that's in towards the center. There we go. Shorter one down here. Okay, we had the hard drive, or not the hard drive, the optical drive screw here. All right, then we had 2 keyboard screws. I believe there's one here, and the other one was up here. Okay. All right, we're almost done with this thing. Okay, hopefully you didn't accidentally smash this cable between the layers. It looks good. Let's go ahead and get this screw in. Oh, it's a little bit tricky. We'll move that cable out of the way. All right, tighten that down to hold the keyboard into place. Good. Get that cable back over there. Get the fan, put that back into place. Okay. Get this, lock it in, and then push that down. Good. Get back all 3 fan screws here. Let's see, it's not lining up right. There we go. I'm gonna loosely fit it first. And the last fan screw up here. Okay. Now I'm gonna hold the fan up as close as I can to the heatsink by pulling on it. Tighten this one. And we'll tighten this one. All right, last one, we'll get the hard drive back into place. Okay, this you can upgrade to a 2.5-inch SATA SSD. There's just 4 screws holding it into this bracket. Actually, this screw's coming loose, so they must have been shaking this thing around a lot for it to come loose like that. Okay, there we go. Drop this into place. Pinch the 2 together. Oops, don't forget the charge port connector as well. And I didn't check to see where this little cable was going, but don't forget to plug that in as well. Again, I think it's for the webcam, the camera. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and get the 2 screws for the hard drive into place. Almost there. Then we're gonna have to, of course, double check, make sure that it works when we plug it in. Let's zoom out here. Okay. So we got this. We're gonna slide these little feet in first, just like that, and then we're gonna work our way over. Okay, we are going to have to push those screws in, of course. Okay, why isn't that going? Lock that back down. Okay, let's pull this. Probably we have to get this one in first. Yep. And we'll work our way over. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go ahead now and put back in all these screws. Okay, don't forget the 2 that we pulled out that fell out. Okay. All right, more screw here. I've got 2 more. Oh, I should have cleaned that. I'll clean that after, but let's go ahead and test it real quick. Uh-oh, I think another customer's here. Okay, so we got that all in. Get the battery. Slide this back into place. Lock that in. All right, and let's go ahead and plug this in. I think I have a customer here, so this is probably going to be the end of the video. I'll just clean the fan off camera. Anyways, let's plug this in. And there you go. Charge light is on. I don't know if you can see that. It's like a reddish orange. There you can see it's blinking. Okay, so we should be good to go. If I unplug that, then the blinking stops. And we'll plug it back in. And the blinking starts. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. I know this is an old laptop, so I don't know if it's going to help many people, but yep. All right, here you can see it's starting up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Oh, they had a system restore on in place, so let's restore from their hibernate. Okay. Maybe it's actually Amazon dropping off packages, but there you go. Thanks for watching. See you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.